So, it's week 3 of my directing course. So I'm just home from my 3rd class, and I'm finding there's a nice positive pattern after each class, and that is that I seem to be in a good mood afterwards. So I quite like that. I did not expect that, and that has never happened after college classes, so this is a good sign, I think. I find that I kind of go in after either a bad day or some kind of severe lack of sleep from the Friday night before, and I go in kind of expecting it to be a bad day, but then after the class and after working with everyone and after, laughing and performing and talking about things, I find that I'm actually, my mood has actually lifted. So that's a good sign, because I tend to get, if I have too many social events in one week or something like that, I get oversaturated from dealing with people, which is not a very good sign if you're going to be a director, because that collaborating and working with people is all your job. So, and I love people, but I also hate people. But the point being, after, collaborating, talking with, discussing with, working with an entire day with people that I'm only getting to know, and it's not exhausting me, it's only improving my mood. So that has been a really good sign, and I'm really happy about that. Today we got to work on scenes from plays, so it wasn't only improv, it was, a full-blown scene, and I was very nervous before. We had maybe 10-15 minutes to rehearse it, in threes, to a pair performing and one directing. And before I had to go up, my heart started pumping, I started sweating. I thought, please, Jesus Christ, just let this be over. Can she just cut the class short and not let us go up? But I did it, and despite messing up a few lines, and having to read the script and try and be decent at acting, somehow it worked out, and something happened that I didn't expect, which is people, clapped and then told me I did a good performance. And I haven't heard those kind of words complimenting my performance in a very long time, because I haven't acted in a long time. And before I took the long break in the last few years from any kind of performing, I used to do musical theater or sing in concerts. So it was a different kind of performance compared to being an actor in a play. And I did very few plays when I was younger. It was more musicals and shows. But that's besides the point. The point is, I was very pleasantly surprised by people telling me I was very good, and that almost brought a tear to my eye, because at 22, I have severe anxieties and self-doubt, and it's been taking me years to get to this point, and where I am right now is a humongous improvement from where I used to be, but I still have a very, very long way to go. So, if anyone is younger than 22 and suffering with self-doubt and anxiety and crippling depression regarding your career in the future, you're not alone. So don't worry about that. That was a very pleasant surprise today. I was very happy to hear that. Not that I was, not that I'm boasting, number one, and not that I was, getting overflown with compliments, but, 2 people told me I was very good, and that just made my day. That was really nice to hear. I do firmly believe that every director should have some background in acting and performing, or take acting classes or something like that. It just always, when I was younger, I even believed that. I said, when I'm gonna be a director, I'm gonna be good, because, I spent the majority of my life performing, so I know what it's like being on the other end, which I think is really vital to being a director, because, well, that's the kind of director I want to be. I never want my actors to feel, well, they're gonna feel anxiety, but I never want them to feel so anxious to the point that they can't approach me or perform in front of me or experiment in front of me. I never want them, just feeling general, overwhelming anxiety about walking into a space with me or something like that. I want to be able to show that I am sympathetic and, well, empathetic, because I've been there, to how they feel, and I want to be a decent, empathetic human being before a director. So I think you know, me going through these anxieties as a performer all the years beforehand will hopefully, like I do believe in my head, hopefully make me a decent and empathetic director. But yeah, that's why, you know, I should have seen it coming, but, you know, signing up for a directing course, that it would have brought along improvisation and acting, because we don't have actors. We're obviously going to work on, like, with ourselves. So week 3, and I was going to say my anxiety has eased a little bit, but seeing as last night I had a bit of a panic episode about my career and life and future and directing project that awaits me in this course, I can't really say my anxiety has eased, but in a way it has, just because obviously this is only the 3rd week, but 3 weeks in and I'm getting much more comfortable around everyone there. And one of my lovely friends today gave me a pile of plays from his personal library to read or look through, and I spent all week looking at plays or ideas of plays to do for my project, and despite not knowing for certain what I'm going to do, I'm just trying to not let the idea of what I am going to do make me panic, because there is a sort of solid idea floating around in my head of, this is the play I'd like to do. I don't know if I can get actors for it, but at least I have the idea of the play. Today, a friend told me not to panic about finding actors because she could help me find some. So the idea of working with people I've never worked with terrifies me, because I've never directed. I've performed a lot, and even then not as much as some people have. And especially these actors, which they will be and can be older than me. For some reason, the idea of people being older than me looking to someone who's younger than them for guidance or direction just makes me feel ridiculous. Like I owe them better. I owe them more, like having more experience. I owe them more knowledge and, you know, good direction, which I don't have yet because I've never done this before. So the idea of, working with people and working with actors just horrifies me. That's why it would have been nice if I had like an abundance of friend actors whom I could just turn to for this project. Would be nice. Unfortunately, that is not the case. So I may have to work with strangers who will hopefully bear with me and allow me to work with them without judging me too much for my first ever directing project. So yeah, anxiety has not eased that much week 3, but we're getting there. I think we're getting there, maybe. I'm definitely not able to call myself a director yet, whatever that is. I'm learning a lot, and I'm really excited to see after a year where I will be and how I feel about being a director, seeing as we're only learning new directing techniques and things like that only now. Like last week, first time I ever heard of the technique actioning, and obviously I'll have to have actors in order to put it to the test one day sometime, but it seems like something I could do. You know, we're working on a lot of improvisation games and things like that, and how to be more sensitive and aware to people around you, which is very important for actors. So as directors, we should know these things and be aware of that ourselves. I don't want to ramble too much because I'm terrified of these video diaries getting really long, and I don't want them to be really long. I just want them to be a thing I can turn to see at what stage I was, you know, years in the future. I can look back and think, oh, she was so ridiculously anxious in week 3. We'll see where we are in a year's time, see if the anxiety eases by then or not. 'Cause I don't know if it will. Maybe it never eases. Is that the thing? Because they say that, for example, when you're going on for a performance, and if you don't feel nervous before a performance, you're not a true performer. And I've always been, you know, heart pumping, adrenaline running, close to tears, kind of nervous, but then enjoying every single damn minute of it and loving it so much. So you know you're a true performer, but maybe the same goes for a director. If you get a bit too overconfident and a bit too certain in yourself and in what you can do, maybe that's just, you just become an entirely different, pompous kind of person. Whereas you're never certain about art and creating. Like, you can't be. Creativity isn't like a tangible like physical thing you can put in a box and just keep it with you. So maybe being a director is all about being a bit anxious, being a bit uncertain. I mean, every project you'll go into, you'll be a bit uncertain and anxious about it, right? Working with different actors, different crew, different everything. So maybe remaining a bit anxious and aware and on your toes is actually a good thing. Who knows? Obviously right now my anxiety is coming from feeling like I don't have enough training or enough experience as a director. So with experience that will ease, but yeah, just see my progress in a year will be interesting. But yeah, I think that's it for week 3. Here's to easing anxiety and learning many a thing. Thanks for listening. That's the end of week 3.